Chapter 47, Fu Blood. Inside the Song Armor sect. There are spies, a cultivator was just about to shout. Boom. A steep arrow feather shot through its throat. Immediately, a large number of villains pounced over, looking at the two people who had just fought against that Song Armor sect disciple. Be careful, Gao Xianzi said in a deep voice. Minister, the security here is very tight. It looks like we're going to find it, a villain excitedly said. Move fast, we don't have much time, Gao Xianzi said eagerly. Yes. Outside, at the 28th heaven and earth vertical formation. Release the arrows, Scar bellowed. Boom. Steeply, a rain of 1,000 arrows rushed out from the red and white intertwined grand formation, heading straight for the black-robed man in midair. There are still quite a few of them. Go. The black-robed man uttered a cold shout and waved his probing hand. It was as if a wall of chi was formed. Boom. The rain of 1,000 arrows exploded, and a large amount of debris shot towards the large formation. Keep shooting. Scar's voice came again. Boom, boom, boom. The rain of arrows continued to shoot out, and the black-robed man probed his hand to block them again and again, his face grim, as he looked at the large formation. Who are you? Ah, ka. Some Song Armor sect disciples covered their throats in pain, their faces reddening. Patriarch, I'm poisoned. Help, a group of Song Armor sect disciples exclaimed. You guys got my essence blood. You can't die. Humph, rubbish, the black-robed man said in a cold voice. Turning his head to look at the bizarre and unsettling grand formation, the arrows and feathers shooting from all around made the black-robed man even more annoyed. HMPH, a bunch of ants, not self-important, heavenly phase, rain to come. The black-robed man let out a cold shout. Boom. Steeply, dark clouds covered the sky. Rolling clouds instantly enveloped the grand formation. Boom ka. Within the dark clouds, a thunderbolt flashed amongst them, and as it flashed, torrential rain poured down. Clack clack clack. The torrential rain rushed straight towards the grand formation. The violent rainstorm was like a pouring waterfall rolling in. Is it really a dragon? Shangwen's scar in the grand formation's face changed. Clatter. As the rolling torrential rain came, Guhai maneuvered the chessboard-shaped grand formation, slowly in the midst of its operation. Wow. The rolling rain was isolated outside the grand formation, unable to enter in the slightest. It was seen that the water in the surrounding valleys was getting higher and higher. However, it was unable to enter the grand formation. Good formation, really good formation. Boy, you are qualified to know my name. Remember, my name is Fu Blood. As for the first-grade hallmaster, she died a long time ago. Ha 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 ha. The black-robed man laughed coldly. In the distance, a group of Song Armor sect disciples showed shocked faces. The Patriarch is actually this strong. I haven't even seen such a great aura on the Patriarch. Can it break through the grand formation? Rumble. A palm was about to hit the grand formation, and the rolling stormy winds drummed up a tremor in the clouds of the grand formation. Powerful and powerful. A loud shout came from the grand formation. A square heavenly painted halberd rushed into the sky. Bear Yin, boom. With a loud bang, the red palm steeply burst apart as the square sky painting halberd passed by, and the ferocity of the halberd rushed straight at the black-robed man, Fu Blood. Fu Blood's face sank. A fist struck. Boom. As the square sky painted halberd passed, Fu Blood's figure retreated violently, forcing the Jiao Long back. My lord, Chen Chonchen shouted in surprise. Don't talk nonsense. Urge everyone, go quickly. This Fu Blood is even more powerful than Meng Tai. Gu Hai twisted his head and called out. Yes, Chen Chonchen answered. Below, a group of villains were directed into the mine. Gu Hai, however, slowly stepped into the 100 feet tall Xiongyu cloud beast. Buzz. The Xiongyu cloud beast slowly floated out of the large formation, holding the square heavily painted halberd in his hand, coldly looking at Fu Blood on the opposite side. Fu Blood had just been repelled, and his face was gloomy for a while. Roar! There was a steep roar, and in the roar, the sky full of dark clouds trembled, and the thunderbolt struck towards the Xiongyu cloud beast. Boom! Xiongyu's halberd rushed to the sky, a huge halberd gas, seemingly carrying the power of opening up the sky and the earth, exploding the thunderbolt in mid-air as much as it could. Fu Blood let out a roar and steeply shifted his body, transforming into a 500 feet large black Jiao dragon. Ang! The dragon floated in the air and roared at Xiongyu. During the roar, a storm-like aura emanated from its body, and a group of Songjia sect disciples in the distance kneeled down in fear. Months ago, I've seen your ugly face, sinful animal. Come and send yourself to death. Guhai let out a loud shout. Boom! The Jiao dragon's tail flung down with a roar, and as it did so, it steeply triggered 5 thunderbolts in the sky to chop down. Xiongyu is here. Break it for me. Xiongyu's cloud beast let out a roar between his glares. The square heavenly painted halberd chopped away once again. Boom! At that moment, the thunderbolt exploded, and the square sky painted halberd collided with the dragon's tail without reducing its momentum. Boom! Under the huge impact, the surrounding ground shook. The dragon tail crashed back. The square sky painting halberd also crashed back. Guhai was still glaring angrily at him, while the Jiao dragon was looking at its own tail. Its face became more and more ferocious, because this halberd came down, and a small wound actually appeared on the dragon's tail. Although it wasn't big, but it had actually injured itself. The dragon stared at Guhai with glaring eyes. His heart turned over in huge waves, thinking that the great formation was fierce, but he didn't think that it would be so exaggerated. His own fleshly body, which was so strong, had been splintered with wounds. Although Guhai's face was fierce, his heart was also anxious. The Jiarong's power was beyond his expectations. How much longer can it last? The Jiao dragon seemed to be enraged. Ong! A dragon roar once again grabbed towards Guhai. Guhai stared in anticipation. I am the king of the Western Shu hegemony. How dare the smallest of the small? The Xiongyu cloud beast let out a roar. Rumble! The square heavenly painted halberd danced at once, and for a while, the halberd was like a heavenly punishment that blasted at the intense augurs and thunderbolts. Rumble! Xiongyu's square heavenly painted halberd dances, but it is like a meat grinder, blossoming on the thunderbolt and the Jiao dragon again and again. Both sides are fighting more and more fiercely. Some of the surrounding mountain peaks are even blown up and shattered. Heavy rain poured down, and everywhere was already an ocean. Retreat, retreat! The crowd of Song Armor sect disciples were terrified as they kept retreating. Everyone retreated with wide eyes. The battle in front of them was beyond everyone's expectations. Ancient Sea. Ancient Sea is really fierce. It's a good thing I didn't break in just now. How nice it would be to eat his heart and liver. It must be delicious. The crowd of Song Armor sect disciples, while retreating, looked at the scene in awe. Rumble. In the center of the battlefield, there was chaos. The sky was full of mud and sand, and debris was flying. While the Jiao dragon became more and more ferocious the more they fought, Guhai had a pang of anxiety in his heart, because as the battle continued, the spirit stones of that one spirit stone mine were about to be depleted cleanly. Once the spirit stone is depleted, once the formation is broken, he will be finished. Zhao Long's heart was also filled with horror at this moment. His body already had hundreds of wounds. The Fang Qianhua halberd was simply invincible, although they were all superficial wounds. But such a tragic battle, but rarely encountered. The two parties have their own thoughts, continue to fight. Gao Xianzi led a group of subordinates, wearing the clothes of the Song Armor sect disciples that he had just changed, and took advantage of the chaos to leave. At this moment, even though there were a large number of people, no one paid attention. The crowd left quickly. As they ran away, the crowd could not help but look at the center of the battlefield. The scene of the sky collapsing and the earth cracking apart. A burst of evil people gulped as they watched. Your lordship's grand formation. It's actually so ferocious. That square sky painting halberd. It's the fierce and invincible. The crowd marveled. Don't talk nonsense. Go quickly and join your lord there, Gao Xianzi said in a deep voice. Yes. The crowd was in the midst of a quick run. Along the way, they also encountered some questioning from the Song Armor sect's disciples. But, under Gao Xianzi's command, everything went without a hitch, and soon disappeared from everyone's sight. Rumble. After another half an hour of the great battle, Gu Hai's heart became more and more anxious. It was about to die. The great formation could not hold on any longer. Swoosh. Steeply. At the top of a mountain peak in the distance, a smoke and fire shot into the sky. This lightning and thunder, fighting frantically all around. That firework was not conspicuous. Only a few people noticed it, but didn't care too much about it. However, Gu Hai's eyes lit up. It was one of the fireworks he had given to Gao Xianzi. Roar. Xiongyu gave a steep roar. Where are my Jiangdong sons and daughters, my thousands of troops? Follow me to kill this Fang. Xiangyu's voice shook the heavens. Roar, 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 roar. In the great formation, a roar came out in unison abruptly, as if there were 1,000 armies about to appear. The Augur Dragon's original madness was abruptly jolted. Ong, boom. Booming and colliding with Xiongyu at once, the Jiao Dragon's figure scurried away into the distance. Who? Xiongyu stopped abruptly. It was seen that a huge handsome flag in general slowly emerged from the cloud formation, as if it was about to summon a large number of troops. Zhao Long has heard the Song Jia sect disciples introduce it. 1,000 armies. A cloud beast. He couldn't even handle himself. If this is going to come out with 1,000 armies, can he still escape? What kind of formation do you have here? Zhao Long roared in disbelief. 1,000 armies did not appear, and Xiongyu did not chase after them. Xiongyu glared at Zhao Long. Sinful animal. Come back if you have the ability. Don't run. You and I will fight for another 300 rounds. Zhao Long steeply narrowed his eyes. You can only stay in that piece and can't chase me. Sinful animal. Have the guts to come over, Gu Hai shouted. The Zhao Long circled around the big formation. Indeed, Xiongyu just refused to come out. He couldn't leave that area of the big formation. Formation. Always just a formation. Humph. Zhao Long coldly snorted. With more than 100 wounds on his body, Zhao Long recognized the terror of the grand formation, but did not want to risk his body again. HMPH. Coward. Gu Hai let out a cold snort. Prayer. Slowly, Xiongyu brought Gu Hai to hide into the grand formation and disappeared in front of everyone. The Zhao Long's body shifted and transformed into a human form once again. Although the ferocity is extraordinary, but it doesn't mean that it is stupid. What is the point of fighting on if you can't get any favors? In the big formation, when Gu Hai hid Xiongyu, Scar and the others surrounded him. My lord, the spirit stones in the formation are about to run out, Scar said with a complicated expression. How is it? Gu Hai asked in a deep voice. Got through. We've been digging tunnels through this mine since last night. Got through, Scar said excitedly. Before the Zhao Long reacts, quick, go, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes. The crowd of villains joined Gu Hai and quickly rushed into the mine cave. Hulong. In the blink of an eye, the large formation was empty of people. Outside, the Zhao Long surrounded the large formation, trying to find a way to break the formation, coldly watching. But the large formation in front of him seemed to be flawless. It gives the Zhao Long a headache. 28 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal formations, from the world of the innate remnants, from the elder chess watcher, as expected of an elder chess viewer. This grand formation, there's really no way to start it. Zhao Long's face was extremely ugly. Ancestor, it's bad. Ancestor. Steeply a cry came from the distance. For Blood turned his head to look, but he saw that outside the golden armor crystal grand formation, a blood-covered demonized man was helped out. "Hey, didn't I ask you to guard it?" Fu Blood said in a cold voice. "Just now, someone broke into the clan and broke into the prison," the man anxiously said. "What?" Fu Blood's face changed. "Who you?" With a probing hand, the demonized man was sucked in. It was grabbed by Fu Blood's collar. "What did you say?" Long Wanqing's servant ran away, Fu Blood said in a cold voice. No, they're still there. The Patriarch's formation change trapped them. No one can take them away. That person immediately shouted. "Get to the point," Fu Blood glared. Gu Hai's men, then just now. It was just a cover to trick me. Just to enter the jail cell. Tricked. Fu Blood said with a scowl on his face. "Seems like it," the man said bitterly. "You can go to hell." Fu Blood let out an explosive shout. Boom. That person exploded with a bang. Fu Blood steeply rushed towards the 28 heaven and earth vertical formation once again. Break. The probing hand struck down with a palm, and with a loud bang, the previously impenetrable grand formation burst open. Around the valley, it was empty. Not a single person was left. How? The countless demonized people around them exclaimed in shock. Fu Blood probed with a wave of his hand. Boom. A piece of land in the surroundings steeply exploded, revealing a pit filled with spirit stones. However, at this moment, it was no longer spirit stones, as if they were in pieces. Countless spirit stones had turned into fine powder. There were only 3 pits in which there was still no more than 100 medium-grade spirit stones. Only this little bit was left. Was Gu Hai swindling me just now? He was at the end of his rope just now. All I have to do is charge a little more and his big formation will break. Fu Blood's face showed a grimace as he said with hatred.